Before we dive into today's story, take one quick second and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy discovering the hidden value of old coins, forgotten treasures, and the surprising history behind everyday pocket change, then you're in the right place. Hit the subscribe button now so you never miss the next discovery, because sometimes the smallest coin can hide the biggest surprise. Now imagine this. You open an old drawer in your house. Maybe it's in your garage, maybe a cabinet your father or grandfather used years ago. Inside, there's a small box filled with old coins from different countries. Most people would glance at them for a second and think they're just souvenirs. Foreign money that's no longer useful. Coins that probably aren't worth anything. But what if one of those coins could quietly be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Today we're talking about a coin that many people have seen, many people have owned, and many people have completely overlooked. A coin from South Africa. A coin from 1994. A coin that represents one of the most important turning points in modern history. The 5 Rand coin from 1994. At first glance, it doesn't look extraordinary. It's solid, strong, and beautifully designed, but it still looks like an ordinary circulating coin. Something you might receive as change at a shop, drop into a jar at home, or carry in your pocket without thinking twice. But coins like this often hide stories much deeper than their metal surface. And sometimes, those stories are exactly what turn an ordinary coin into something collectors are desperate to understand why this coin matters. We need to travel back to the early 1990s. South Africa was changing. For decades, the country had lived under the system known as apartheid, a political structure that separated people by race and controlled nearly every part of daily life. It was a time of division, tension, and struggle. Around the world, millions watched as the situation in South Africa slowly moved toward transformation. Then came 1994. For many historians, this year represents one of the most powerful moments in modern democracy. It was the year South Africa held its first fully democratic national election. For the first time, citizens of all backgrounds could vote together. The world watched as the nation turned a new page in its history. Moments like this are not just recorded in textbooks. They are captured in symbols, in documents, and sometimes in coins. Currency often reflects the identity of a nation at a specific moment in time. Governments redesign coins and banknotes when something important changes. A new leader, a new government, a new era. And in 1994, South Africa marked its historic transition with coins that carried deep symbolic meaning. The 5 Rand coin from that year became more than just money. It became a small piece of a nation's rebirth that if you hold one in your hand today, you're holding a piece of that story. The coin itself is large and impressive compared to many other circulating coins. Its weight and design make it feel important. The metal shines with a distinctive golden tone that immediately catches the eye. On one side, the design reflects the identity of South Africa, often featuring national symbols that represent strength, resilience, and heritage. These symbols were carefully chosen to represent unity and the shared future of the country. Collectors love coins like this because they connect history with everyday life. Think about it. When this coin was first released in 1994, it traveled everywhere. Through markets, buses, banks, restaurants, and thousands of pockets. It passed from one hand to another across cities, villages, and provinces. Every scratch or mark on the surface could tell a story about where it has been. Maybe it helped someone buy their first meal after voting in that historic election. Maybe it sat in a child's piggy bank for years before being forgotten in a drawer. Maybe it traveled across continents inside a traveler's wallet. Coins are silent witnesses to history. And for collectors, that silent witness is incredibly valuable. Now here's where things start getting interesting. Most 5 Rand coins from the 1990s were used heavily in everyday transactions. That means many of them became worn down over time. The edges softened. The details faded. The shine disappeared. When coins lose their sharp details, collectors usually value them less. But every once in a while, something different happens. A coin escapes circulation. Maybe it was saved immediately after minting. Maybe it stayed in a collection. Maybe it sat untouched in a bank vault or sealed coin roll for years. When that happens, the coin remains in extraordinary condition. Collectors call this uncirculated condition. And the difference between a worn coin and a pristine coin can be dramatic. 2 coins from the same year, the same design, the same country, can have completely different values depending on their condition. A scratched, worn coin might be worth only a small amount, but a flawless one, that's where collectors start paying attention. And when collectors pay attention, prices begin to rise. The 1994 5 Rand coin sits at a very interesting point in coin collecting because it combines three things that collectors always look for. First, historical significance. Coins tied to major historical moments almost always attract long-term interest. The year 1994 is permanently connected to South Africa's transformation, and collectors around the world recognize that. Second, national symbolism. Coins that represent a country's identity often become icons within numismatic circles. The 5 Rand design has strong visual appeal, which makes it attractive not just to collectors, but also to investors. Third, condition rarity. While millions of coins were produced, far fewer survived in perfect condition. Over the years, many were scratched, lost, melted, or damaged. Each year that passes makes high-quality examples harder to find. That combination creates a fascinating situation that a coin that once moved through everyday pockets slowly becomes harder and harder to find in exceptional condition. And when something becomes harder to find, collectors begin competing for it. Competition is where value grows. Picture a room full of experienced collectors. Many of them have spent decades searching for coins that represent historic moments. When a rare, high-quality coin appears, everyone in that room understands the opportunity. They know that once it disappears into someone's private collection, it may not appear again for many years. That's when bidding wars start. And bidding wars can turn an ordinary-looking coin into something truly surprising. But here's something even more fascinating about coins like the 1994 5 Rand. Many people still have them without realizing it. They may sit inside travel souvenir boxes, old coin jars, estate collections passed down from family members. Sometimes they appear in inherited collections where nobody has checked their value for decades. Every year, stories appear of people discovering valuable coins hidden among ordinary change. That a man cleaning out his father's garage finds a small envelope of foreign coins. That a retired traveler opens a box of souvenirs collected during trips in the 1990s. That a collector revisits an old binder of coins that hasn't been touched in years. And inside those collections, sometimes there it is. That a bright, sharp, preserved 5 Rand coin from 1994. The moment a collector recognizes it, the excitement begins, because condition, rarity, and history all come together in that small piece of metal. And for serious collectors, that combination can mean serious money. Now you might be wondering something very important. How can one coin be worth so much more than another when they look almost identical? That question is exactly what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Tiny details matter. The sharpness of the lettering, the crispness of the design, the brightness of the metal. Even the smallest marks can change how collectors grade a coin's condition. Professional grading systems measure these details with incredible precision, often using magnification to study the surface. That a single grade difference can multiply a coin's value dramatically. For example, a coin graded slightly below perfect might sell for a modest price. But the exact same coin, graded near perfect, can suddenly become extremely desirable. That's why collectors search tirelessly for the best examples. And when they find them, they protect them carefully, sealing them in protective holders to preserve their condition for future generations. Because coins like this aren't just objects, they're historical artifacts. They connect us to the exact moment when a nation changed direction. They remind us that history doesn't only live in museums. Sometimes it lives in our pockets. And sometimes, those tiny pieces of history turn out to be far more valuable than anyone expected. We're about to reveal just how surprising the value of this coin can be. But before we reach that moment, there's something even more intriguing about certain versions of the 1994 5 Rand coin that most people have never heard about. And those hidden details are exactly what can